What if Toyota just dropped an SUV that's not only ready for the next decade, but ready to dominate it? Imagine one vehicle that can crawl over rocks on Saturday and carry your entire family in comfort on Sunday. That's exactly what the 2026 Toyota Fortuner is aiming to be. And trust me, there are a few surprises hidden in this upgrade that even longtime Fortuner fans might not be expecting. By the end of this video, you might be asking yourself a serious question. Is this now the most complete ladder frame SUV in its class? Let's start from the back side, because the rear of the 2026 Toyota Fortuner has received a glow-up that's subtle but powerful. The first thing that catches your eye is the new full-width LED light bar stretching across the tailgate. It gives the SUV a wider, more planted stance at night, almost Land Cruiser-like. The Fortuner badge now sits proudly in chrome, and the redesigned rear bumper looks thicker and tougher, with a more functional off-road approach angle. Does this rear design feel more premium than before? Absolutely. But here's a question for you. Do you prefer this clean LED light bar look or the older, more traditional Fortuner rear? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Moving to the left side profile, this is where the Fortuner really shows its muscle. The 2026 model sits slightly taller, with increased ground clearance that's immediately noticeable. The wide wheel arches are more pronounced, housing 18-inch wheels on standard trims and going all the way up to aggressive 20-inch alloys on higher variants. Wrapped in all-terrain rubber, this SUV looks equally comfortable parked outside a luxury hotel or halfway up a muddy trail. The strong shoulder line runs cleanly from front to back, giving it that solid, body-on-frame confidence. Compared to rivals like the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, which leans more toward sleek design, the Fortuner looks unapologetically tough. Quick question for you. Would you take this bold, boxy stance over a more rounded SUV design? Now let's walk around to the right side, and the story continues. The symmetry in design makes the Fortuner feel well-balanced, and the blacked-out pillars on higher trims create a floating roof effect that adds a touch of modern style. Side steps are now better integrated, not just slapped on, making entry easier for families while still protecting the body off-road. The doors feel heavy and solid when you imagine opening them, something Fortuner owners always praise. Compared to the Ford Everest, which focuses heavily on flashy design elements, the Fortuner stays true to its rugged roots. Do you think Toyota made the right choice by keeping things simple and strong instead of flashy? Before we jump inside, it's impossible not to talk briefly about the front because it sets the tone for everything else. The Land Cruiser-inspired Toyota lettering across the grille gives the 2026 Fortuner serious road presence. The black mesh grille looks aggressive without being overdone, and the full LED matrix headlights add a premium, almost military-inspired look. This SUV doesn't ask for attention, it demands it. Park this next to an Isuzu Mu-X, and you'll instantly see which one looks more commanding. Now step inside the interior, and this is where Toyota has made one of the biggest leaps forward. The cabin of the 2026 Toyota Fortuner finally feels like it belongs in the modern era. The moment you sit in, you're greeted by an enormous 25-inch panoramic digital display that seamlessly combines the infotainment system and the instrument cluster. It's wide, crisp, and customizable, giving the cabin a futuristic vibe without feeling complicated. The new steering wheel feels thicker and more premium, with well-placed controls that actually make sense. Materials have clearly been upgraded. Soft-touch surfaces, contrast stitching, and refined trim pieces replace the harder plastics of older models. The crystal effect gear selector adds a surprising touch of luxury, something you'd expect in a more expensive SUV. The seating remains spacious, especially in the first and second rows, making long journeys comfortable for families. Even the third row feels more usable than before, which is something not every SUV in this segment can claim. Here's something to think about. Would you choose this interior over the more tech-heavy, but sometimes overwhelming cabin of the Ford Everest? Let's talk practicality for a moment. Storage spaces are well thought out, with deep door pockets, a large center console, and enough cup holders to keep everyone happy. Rear passengers get improved air vents and charging options, making this a true family-friendly SUV. Toyota hasn't forgotten that many Fortuners are used daily, not just on weekends. Do you use your SUV more for family trips or off-road adventures? I'm curious to know. Now under the hood, the 2026 Toyota Fortuner sticks with what it does best, but adds meaningful upgrades. Power comes from an improved 2.8-liter turbo diesel engine, now producing around 220 to 230 horsepower, and a massive 500 to 550 newton meters of torque. These numbers might not sound crazy on paper, but in the real world, this torque makes all the difference. Whether you're overtaking on the highway or climbing a steep mountain road, the Fortuner feels confident and composed. The 6-speed automatic transmission has been refined for quicker and smoother responses, especially at low speeds where off-road control matters most. While some competitors are moving to more gears, Toyota keeps it simple and reliable. And let's be honest, how many Fortuner buyers really want complicated gearboxes when durability is the priority? Off-road capability is where the Fortuner truly earns its reputation. The reinforced 4x4 system, low-range gearing, rear differential lock, and updated multi-terrain select modes allow this SUV to tackle gravel, sand, mud, and rocky surfaces with ease. The suspension setup, including a refined multi-link rear, delivers a smoother ride than before without sacrificing toughness. It's not quite luxury SUV soft, but for a ladder-frame vehicle, the comfort level is impressive. Would you trust this more off-road than a Pajero Sport or an MU-X? Many enthusiasts already do. Fuel efficiency is another pleasant surprise. Despite its size and power, the 2026 Fortuner is expected to deliver around 7.8 to 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers in mixed driving. That's respectable for a vehicle of this class, especially when you consider its off-road hardware and weight. It's the kind of efficiency that makes daily driving more affordable, especially in markets where fuel prices matter. Now let's talk about competition, because this segment is crowded. The Mitsubishi Pajero Sport offers sharp handling and bold styling, but the Fortuner often feels more planted off-road. The Ford Everest leads in technology and screen-heavy interiors, but some buyers worry about long-term reliability. The Isuzu MU-X is known for durability, yet lacks the premium feel Toyota now offers. This is where the Fortuner shines. A balance of reliability, resale value, service network, and now, modern design and tech. If you were spending your own money, which one would you choose and why? As for pricing, the 2026 Toyota Fortuner is expected to start around $43,000 to $47,000 for base trims, climbing to about $55,000 to $60,000 for fully loaded versions. Yes, it's slightly more expensive than before, but considering the upgrades in design, interior, and performance, the value proposition remains strong. Sales are expected to begin in early 2026, following a global debut in the final weeks of 2025. So what's the final verdict? The 2026 Toyota Fortuner doesn't try to reinvent itself completely, and that's actually its biggest strength. Instead, Toyota has refined what already worked, added modern technology where it matters, and kept the mechanical simplicity that Fortuner owners love. It's tougher, more comfortable, more premium, and still built to last. Could this be the most well-rounded SUV in its class for the next decade? For many buyers, the answer might be yes. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more honest, detailed car reviews like this, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow Lux Drive Review for all the latest automotive content. Your support helps the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one.